Okay, I'm going to make the bar clamps from the aluminum profile. It's 12 feet long. Exactly, it's 12 feet and 3 inches. That's why I'm going to cut it into 3 equal pieces. Each piece will be 4 feet and 1 inch. So here is the cut. It's very clean, which as usual proves that it's a piece of cake for the table saw to cut aluminum. And I'm ready for the second cut. Okay, there we have it. We have 3 identical length pieces. Okay, now I'm going to cut the 300 mm aluminum angle into half. So I will have 2 times 150 mm pieces, and then I will cut them again into half, and I will have around 72 mm per piece. Okay, now I'm going to cut aluminum angle to 2 pieces of 72 mm. Okay, I have set the double marking gauge because I know this is 72 millimeters. I set the distance between the 2 pins to 24, and the distance from the pin to the wall is 24. So that's 48. So when I run the gauge on the edge, I get these 2 lines, and if I run from the other edge, I should be exactly on the same lines. Then I know that my pins are set perfectly. So now I have to decide on which side of these lines I want to make the cut. So I decided that this will be the piece which is a fixed jaw. So it will be fixed with the bolt and nut to the bar. So I'm going to remove the sides. So I will be cutting on this side of the line. And this piece will be sliding so in this piece we will be cutting the middle. So the cut will be on the inner side of the line, and the waist will be inside. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. So let's make these 2 cuts first. So because these are precision cuts, I really want to be careful. So let's put this line on the left side of the blade, and the blade height I will use another piece. We are perfectly on the line. And this is the other piece where we want to cut out the inner section. So the cut has to be on the inside of the line. Okay, now I'm going to cut the waist side wings by hand. Done. Okay, so this is the waist. They are the same size, which is a good sign. So this will be on the bar. It will be fixed, and this will be a base for the clamp. So now I'm going to remove the waist from the inner part of the other piece, and this will be going inside. So now you can probably see it better. In a while it will be no more a mystery. Of course I'm going to clean up the hacksaw uneven edge, but let's check out the most important is the fit between these two pieces, and it's perfect. Oh man, this makes me really happy. Look at that fit. Okay, now we are going to drill the holes, which will be used as stoppers for the fixed and moving jaws. So I'm going to use this Bosch drill bit box as a spacer, because it's 42 and a half millimeters, and that's what I want. So I will be using this 42 mm as a spacer plus 8 mm, so that's 50 mm space between the holes. So the space between the drill bits is 42 and the drill bit itself is 8 mm, so we have 50 mm. Yeah, that should do. So this is my jaw. The hole will be somewhere in the middle. So the first hole we want to make somewhere like one inch from the end. So this is our spacer. The distance between these holes is not critical, it's just estimate. So this is the clamp. Let's say we will fix it in this position. There will be a hole through the bottom of the aluminum angle, and then this bolt will lock the angle in place. There will be also a nut inside the aluminum profile to tighten it up using the Allen key. So I will drill another 2 bars of the camera, and then I will proceed with the assembly of one. Okay, so now I measured the center and I'm going to punch it. Now I'm going to drill the hole. So I'm going to move the fence. Okay, so I drilled the holes in the fixed jaw. So this will be the moving part. So let me attach this one. Okay, so for this fixed jaw, I'm using different bolt with the mushroom flat head, so it won't disturb me when I will be adjusting the moving part. This is the fixed part, which will be bolted to the very end of the bar and will not be moving from there. So it's going in this way. And then we have to find the first hole and lock it in place. I think I will need a shim to allow the moving part move while the other part is fixed. In the meantime, let me square it to show you roughly. So this is the fixed jaw, and this is the moving part, which will be pushed by the threaded rod. So this will be executing the clamping power. The threaded rod will be pushing this moving part of the jaw. So far so good. Let me drill the remaining holes and find the shim. Okay, let me drill the remaining 2 on the same settings of the fence. Okay, so let's try it. Of course, now I have to shim this layer from this layer so that this jaw can move. But I'm planning to drill another hole. Okay, so I'm going to make another 2 holes in the identical pieces. Done. Remaining piece. The nut has to go inside the groove, and then you can see it's jumping from the hole to the hole, so I can lock it in place anywhere I want. So let's say it's a small glue up, so this jaw will be nearby. I really can do it just by hand, because as long as it's locked in the hole, there's no such a force that will move this jaw. So that's roughly how it will look like. Now I'm going to attach it to the other 2 bars. I decided to add another screw here, so the fixed jaw won't be moving at all. So I will have double, and it won't be rotating at all. I'm going to drill the second hole here for the fixed jaw. So with these 2 bolts in place, it's not going to turn at all. Okay, so again we put the nut into the aluminum profile. The remaining thing to do is to drill the hole for the threaded rod to mobilize the moving jaw. Now I will drill the 8mm holes to accommodate moving jaw. However, I want to use threaded insert of 12 mm, so I will need to drill the holes 10.5 or 11 mm and then thread them. So this is just like a pilot hole. I purposely don't drill the hole exactly in the center because most of the time the clamping pressure will be lower. So I want to put it slightly in the 30% of the bottom. I'm starting to rush because it's getting dark. So now I'm going to find the drill number 11 and make these holes bigger. So the remaining thing to do is to tap these holes. This is the moving part. As I turn the stainless steel rod, it's pushing the moving jaw. So now I'm going to do the same to the other two and final assembly. Now I'm going to tap or thread so this is the stainless steel threaded insert. This is stainless steel threaded bolt or threaded rod, and this will be applying our clamping pressure. So this is the moving jaw, and as I'm turning it, it's extending the moving jaw. Okay, we are very near. I'm just going to insert the shim between these two pieces so that the moving part has some space to travel. I already cut some shims, so just going to insert it. Okay, the shim is in. You can see probably the small gap between these two pieces. Now I'm going to drill through the shims. A threaded rod, which is stainless steel, is working on the stainless steel threaded insert, so I'm not worried about the aluminum getting worn out from the constantly applying pressure in and out, in and out. As I lubricate it later on, it should be moving by hand. So this is the moving part. So as we rotate the threaded rod, the moving part is being pushed out. So great. So now I'm going to assemble this. These nuts have to go inside the aluminum profile. Done. And then there are two holes here. So thanks to the shim, this part can move. If there was no shim between these two parts, this will be pushed and it will be not possible to move it. Yep, this one can still move. Yep, perfect. So now the last part of the assembly is the stainless steel threaded rod. Let's do the final test of the assembly as we are turning the stainless steel threaded rod or bolt. It's pushing out the moving jaw, and it will be applying the clamping pressure to the material. We can easily turn it back and retract the moving jaw by just pushing it back. That concludes the build. I'm very happy.